There are more patients than ever flooding through the doors at Derriford, and it's getting ever more expensive to treat them.
We heard today that the medical admissions in April into the hospital were 7% higher than this time last year, and we're also finding that the patients are becoming more sicker as people are living longer and living longer with more diseases as well. So the demands on hospitals are going up, and the whole challenge for the NHS is to find more creative and better ways of treating those patients.
The hospital is talking to GPs about a range of ways to keep people away in future. But despite government promises on NHS budgets, they just won't stretch. The hospital ended last year with debts of £5 million, but this year they're looking at going into the red by the tune of £33 million. And that's only if they can find savings of £12 million. And at this moment, they're only confident of finding savings of half that much. We could be looking at a deficit of nearly £40 million. 6 departments at Derriford can't cope with demand, and if waiting times creep up, there'll be more fines for missing targets on top of the £5 million they're already facing. Derriford isn't the only hospital struggling to balance the books. The Royal Devon and Exeter's deficit is over £20 million. The Royal Cornwall at Truro is facing a £5.5 million shortfall, and the South Devon Trust is expecting to be £4 million in the red. Taunton's Musgrove Park is breaking even, but they'd all like a fairer share of the NHS budget. We're all used to the idea that schools in the southwest get less per pupil than schools in most of the rest of the country. What isn't so widely known is that our patients are considered worth less. The government's introduced what it calls the market forces factor. That means that hospitals here get paid less per operation than hospitals in the rest of Britain.
For the work that we provide at this hospital, if that was provided in Bristol or in London, then the differences in Bristol would be £17 million and in London £50 million.
The unions say the funding isn't fair on staff and is treating West Country patients as second-class citizens.
So what we need to see is that recognise that actually the demographics across the rural community needs to have a better funding. We need to see that across our hospitals in order for those hospitals to provide a service for the public that they deserve.
There is emergency funding available for debt-ridden hospitals, but they are expected to get back in the black. John Andrews, ITV News, Plymouth.